So I got called to do this reading. I shuffled the cards once and I heard put them down and wait. So as I sit here, I was getting very emotional. I was, at first, I was like, maybe it's just because I'm ending my cycle. And I haven't really allowed myself to cry during this cycle, but I I feel very emotional, and so like I feel like I'm on the verge of tears, but there's nothing sad. There's nothing for me to be sad about. So that's why I feel like I keep kind of like suppressing the tears, and I'm like, we don't need to cry. And I'm sharing this story because or I'm recording this because I felt guided to. I don't know if I'm going to share this or post this, but I'm recording it at least for myself. And what's coming to me as I'm saying that is that I think my body got to a place when I was in a darker space where I was so used to crying as a release, like as a physical release. Like sometimes I just needed to like bawl my eyes out and let the pain flow. But now that I'm in a space where I feel so much gratitude, I feel so much growth, and I can truly see, like, as if I could see the pin point of where I'm at along my journey. It's like I'm aware that I'm no longer where I was before at all, but I'm also not quite where I'm destined to be. But I'm okay with that, and I'm content with that. Um, and I'm recognizing more and more as I go down this journey that what's meant for me cannot pass me by. There's really no point in worrying about anything. And that every time I think I'm losing something, I always level up. And so maybe, even as I'm talking right now, I can feel my throat getting tight because it's like maybe a part of me is just really overwhelmed with gratitude, and it's almost like I don't have tears left to cry because I'm so happy. um and again, I'm not at all where I want to be, but I can look at my life 6 months ago and be like, wow, like, look at where we thought we were going to be, look at what we were going through, and look at how far we've come. And the person that I am today is so strong, and she's so resilient, and I'm so proud of the person that I am and that I'm becoming. And I think like the biggest part of that is it's just feeling really like grateful, and it's feeling gratitude, and it's feeling faith over fear, and the feeling of just like knowing that life is okay, and it's going to be okay, and it's only going to get better from here, is huge. Sorry, my little Pookie here. He wanted me to pick him up. So, let's go ahead and shuffle the cards and see what comes out. I shuffled it once. I guess let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. The Great Gathering. So, when I say I can feel everything falling into place, I can just see it. The other day, I was going to buy a car, and I knew that the car would have been a stretch for me, in terms of like finances, right? But there was a part of me that was so determined to challenge myself, and it was almost like a test that I passed without even having to like. I ended up not getting the car, but having the power to choose to make a different choice was so huge, and all the inner work that I had to do just to get to a place to be ready to buy the car. I was like, oh, so this was all just like you know, not even like a test, but this was all like an activity. Excuse me, Simba. Rude. And it was all just to help me really work on my mindset in terms of abundance and what I feel like I deserve, you know, going through the motions of really just challenging my mind. And as I am going through this journey of entrepreneurship, you have to shift your mindset. It's so weird that people talk about it, but they don't really go in depth. And it's like when I say shift your mindset, you truly have to, even when you say embody the person you want to become, it's like it's so much easier said than done. We don't realize how programmed we are as the people that we are until you're having to change the way you think, and until your mind is truly tested and your habits are tested and your behaviors are tested and everything. It's like we're so stuck in our ways sometimes that it really is blocking our blessings. And so I had to like really work on the mental aspect of who I was so that I can become who I want to be, and still to this moment. So the cards that are coming out are kind of telling me that I'm in alignment and I'm leveling up, but there's almost like a resistance to the journey, which I think is more like in the mental aspect. I know where I want to go. I just don't necessarily have the GPS mapped out to know, like, do I turn this way? Do I turn that way? And so even as I'm closing my eyes, it's like that blind faith of just allowing things to unfold in the way that they're going to. Initiation came out, so crossing the threshold, I feel that. I feel myself moving forward into a new chapter, a new path, like into a portal. But and it's funny, I smiled when this card came out because it says play. It says have fun, don't be so serious. And I've had to let go of that part. Like, I do want my journey to be fun. I don't want to look back and be like, oh my gosh, it was so much hard work. Like, life is supposed to be fun. Life is supposed to be light. It's supposed to be full of joy, you know, in abundance. And so allowing myself to just kind of like, it's funny because I was always like, I'd always be like, oh, Jesus, Holy Spirit, like, God, take the wheel. I don't want to drive. I don't want to drive. And I'm currently not driving. I'm in my like chauffeur era where I just Uber everywhere and I'm just driven around, and I love it. It's great because I genuinely don't like to drive. And for a while, like a couple years back, even like last year, I'd be like, oh, well, I'm not driving, God. Like, you drive. Like, you take the wheel. And as soon as I was about to buy this car, I was like, dang, like, am I ready to take the wheel? Like, am I ready to drive and, like, be the driver again? And it's not that I'm not. It's that I'm totally okay with God driving and me just being, like, passenger princess. And so I think that, again, like, the inner work that I got to do was so big and such a huge eye-opener for me, because I realized that I'm totally capable, I'm totally dedicated to giving myself what I want, and I will go after it and I will get it. But I'm also just like, I wonder what else would come. Like, if I give this up, I wonder what else will come. The car wasn't exactly what I wanted. It was kind of something I was settling for, but I tried to convince myself that it was the one I wanted, because it was just the best option at that time. But I'm like, I wonder what'll happen if I wait. Like, I'm not dying. So I'm very curious to see how it all unfolds, and maybe that's all that. It says wait. It says wait. It says wait. Postpone. Pause. Say no. You literally cannot make things up.